Have you ever been using a dApp, you finally decide to hit that swap or buy button, and then absolutely nothing happens? Your heart skips a beat, you're wondering, did my wallet just get drained? Is the network just taking a nap? It is sheer panic. Welcome to this explainer from the Foundry by Forge College. I'm your host, and today we are setting up our drafting tables. Building right off our last lesson on modular design principles for upgrades, we are diving deep into the advanced interaction design module of our Solana dApp UI/UX track. We're going to architect the perfect blueprint for designing microinteractions and feedback loops so you never, ever put your users through that kind of panic again. Here is our agenda for today's session. We're going to look at the interaction void, break down the anatomy of a microinteraction, figure out how to solve for Solana latency, prototype the mechanism, and finally, run through our validation checklist. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The interaction void. Now this void is a very real, incredibly anxiety-inducing phenomenon in Web3. I really want you to imagine that immediate loss of trust when a transaction is submitted into literally a void. When there is absolutely zero visual confirmation that the system received your command, the human brain just naturally assumes the worst. Did I click it? Should I click it again? Did I just send my Solana into a black hole? In decentralized apps, trust is quite literally your most valuable currency, and a silent UI bankrupts that trust in milliseconds.
To fix this void, we've got to treat our UI design the exact same way an engineer treats a physical blueprint. And speaking of blueprints, just a quick note for our drafting table, we're strictly adhering to beige, orange, and dark green ink today. No Forge College logos in these schematics, and we're double-checking all spelling before anything gets finalized. You see, you can't just guess where the structural supports go, right? We need exact specifications, clear boundaries, and totally predictable mechanics. So let's look at the actual components.
Section 2. Anatomy of a microinteraction.
So what exactly is this? A microinteraction is a brief, highly focused response that a UI gives after a single user action, specifically to communicate progress and the outcome. Think of it as the visible, testable instantiation of all those structural design principles we learned about earlier. It's that exact moment a button transforms into a spinner the millisecond you click it. It's basically just a tiny conversation between the user and the system.
And this perfectly illustrates the mechanics of that conversation. Our component schematic has 4 core states. First, you have idle. The button is just sitting there, waiting for you to do something. Second is submitting. The user clicked and we instantly acknowledge it. Third, success. The transaction went through. Or fourth, error, meaning something went wrong. Every single one of these states requires its own distinct visual wiring to keep the user totally in the loop.
Section 3. Solving for Solana latency.
Here's the thing. We have to design for what's called perceived latency. This is the user's psychological experience of system speed. It's heavily influenced by immediate UI feedback, totally regardless of how fast the actual network is running. Since we obviously can't physically speed up a blockchain's block time from our front-end code, we have to engineer the perception of speed. If the UI reacts instantly, the user feels like the entire system is lightning fast. 100 to 200 milliseconds. Burn this number into your brain because it is our golden rule for maintaining trust. Your UI absolutely must show immediate affordance, like changing the button text or popping up a spinner within this tiny window right after a user clicks. If you take longer than that, the user feels the lag. That interaction void opens right up and the panic sets in. Instant feedback is completely non-negotiable.
Section 4. Prototyping the mechanism.
Take a look at our file structure map here. We have our UI component file, our CSS for the animations, an app file for local testing, and crucially, this mock Solana.js file. In this mock file, we're actually going to simulate a random network delay of anywhere from 500 to 3,000 milliseconds. We use this to really stress test our UI. We want to see how our micro-interaction behaves when the network is super snappy and how it holds up when it's dragging a bit. By the way, as you dive into different programs with Forge College, you'll quickly realize that mocking these asynchronous environments is an absolute superpower for UI/UX testing. All right, here is the mechanical flow of our prototype. Step 1. The click triggers a synchronous state change immediately to submitting. Step 2. We await the mock response from our simulated network. Step 3. We render the final success or error visual. Now, I need to issue a massive warning right here. Never, ever wait for the network promise before updating your UI to that submitting state. If you wait for the network to say, "I'm thinking," before you show the spinner, you completely destroy the perceived performance. And look, a robust blueprint doesn't just look good visually. It has to actually work for everyone. Accessibility is a core feature of our mechanism. definitely not an afterthought. We use the aria-live polite attribute to announce these state changes directly to screen readers, so when the state shifts from idle to submitting to success, the screen reader narrates this progress out loud. This ensures that literally no user, visually impaired or otherwise, is ever left hanging in that interaction void.
Next, we've got to talk about motion physics. Good feedback uses really short, subtle entry animations that take under 350 milliseconds. It's snappy. Bad feedback relies on these excessively long, decorative transitions that just obscure what's actually happening. If your success animation features 3 seconds of twirling confetti, you aren't helping the user at all. You're just making them wait longer to get back to interacting with your dApp. Keep it sharp and to the point.
Which brings us to Section 5, the validation checklist.
Let's run through this final QA checklist. 1. Does immediate feedback happen in under 200 milliseconds? 2. Does the submitting state persist smoothly during a really long network delay? 3. If there's an error, does the keyboard focus automatically recover to the retry button? 4. Are our area announcements firing correctly? And 5. Timing harmony. If the mock network resolves instantly, does our UI handle it without some ugly, flickering double animation? Our button has to behave predictably, whether the chain takes 500 milliseconds or 3 full seconds.
I want to leave you with this really powerful concept that summarizes everything we've drawn up today. A successful micro-interaction minimizes uncertainty. That right there is the absolute foundation of user trust. By bridging that gap between a user's click and the blockchain's confirmation, you are telling the user, hey, I've got you. The system is working.
Excellent work today, everyone. Next up in our track, we are going to dive into animation timing and physics for dApps, where we'll refine the specific easing curves and motion mass of this exact component we just built. To continue your journey in mastering Web3 UI UX and to explore our full library of advanced design courses, make sure to visit forge.college. Grab your digital drafting pens, keep refining those feedback loops, and I'll see you in the next explainer.